Can Tampa close this out at home in game 6?
Yeah, I'm fully of the mindset of that after what we saw in game 5. I mean, just to recap game 5, it was a battle. Really, both the Lightning and the Rangers were going at it the entire game. It was scoreless in the first period. In the second period, we definitely saw really some good scoring opportunities for both teams. The Rangers were the first to score in the second period, and then the Lightning were able to respond late in the second period. That tied it up 1-1. And then going into the third, the Rangers were so persistent at getting shots on Vasilevsky the entire third. And there was a great opportunity for the Rangers to score with just a couple of minutes left in that period to go. And I forget who set up the pass, but the pass was, I mean, honestly, it was a perfect pass. It was a perfect setup for the Rangers to score. And one of the Rangers skaters just overskated the puck by about literally a half a second. And it was a wide open net. If that pass was just a little bit more on point, or had the Rangers been in the perfect position to capitalize on that, it's 2-1 Rangers with just a couple of minutes left in the third period, and it changes the entire complexion of the game. Instead of that, the Rangers miss, and the Lightning take advantage of it. Kale Sergachev hits a shot towards the net. It slightly deflects off of Andre Palat. The puck goes in the net. It gets past Shesterkin, and it's 2-1 Lightning. And this was with basically like a minute 45 left in the third period. Not a lot of time for the Rangers to work with. The Rangers try to go for broke. They go empty net, try to do a 6-on-5. It doesn't work in their favor. And I believe Brandon Hagel ends up getting the empty netter that puts the Lightning up 3-1 to ice it in Madison Square Garden. This was a game that I'm of the mindset the Lightning escaped. They escaped New York in this manner just because I really thought that the Rangers looked like the team to beat in that game 5 specifically. Just with the way that they were so persistent on getting those shots on net in the third period, I really thought that they were going to have an opportunity to go up 2-1 in that game and then put Tampa on their heels to be able to tie it potentially for the end of the third. But Tampa just hung in tough. That championship pedigree, man, it held on by like this much. I mean, New York was really giving Tampa all that they could handle. It's just New York is still relatively a young team, and I think this is one of those moments where maybe the youth kind of bit them, just because the chemistry and just the setup was a little bit off. That could have put them up 2-1 in that game, and when they couldn't take advantage of that, Tampa just it's a. I mean, it wasn't like even like that crazy of a wrister from Sergachev, but it was enough to flex off Palat, and I mean, we're talking about like literally a game of inches. And in this case, it worked out in the favor for Tampa, and it went against New York in this case. Going into game 6, I don't know how the Rangers can bounce back, just because that was a game that they probably should have won. And yet somehow Tampa finds a way to just get the puck in the net a couple more times than the Rangers and put them up 3-2 in the series going back to Tampa. I mean, 3 straight wins. Tampa looked really good at home in games 3 and 4. I really thought the Rangers were probably going to come out of game 5 with a win, which is how they played in that third period. They play inspired hockey, and just the hockey guys did not shine bright on them today. And the Lightning find themselves up 3-2. It looks like to me that they have full control of this series. Going back to game 6 in Tampa, it seems to me like the Rangers are pretty much done at this point. I don't see how they're going to be able to bounce back from this and find a way to win game 6. I think if they were to win game 6, it would be basically nothing short of a miracle. But I think the Lightning, I think they look locked and loaded to go to another Stanley Cup, which would be potentially be their third in a row, which would just be utterly insane. A great game 5, but the Lightning, that championship pedigree held just enough to get them past the Rangers. And I think it's going to take them to the Stanley Cup. That's just how I see it.
I mean, Kyle kind of alluded to pretty much everything I was going to say. I mean, the game was well fought, tight all the way through. Obviously, going back and forth, very physical. I mean, it got very chippy in that third period. Both teams at at each other's throats multitudes of times in between icing periods and in between line changes. It was just as physical as you would like playoff hockey to be. And, like I said in the beginning, New York had their opportunity to go up, kind of try to take the air out of the sail for Tampa and get them to make some mistakes. But between the turnovers, between the multiple shot opportunities that led up to the, Shergachev, what's that guy's name?
Sergachev.
That hit Shergachev. I was right. For him to hit that shot, and like Kyle said, it wasn't anything crazy. He just made a great shot. And again, we missed a couple of opportunities at some open nets, and here we are. The Rangers. I said it before. I said it when right before the series had started. It was just the experience at one point was going to come into play here. The obvious inexperience of the Rangers has shown in the last two games to where either it's close all the way and you can't execute, or right out of the gate, Tampa just comes out way more aggressive and a lot more what seems to be prepared, because obviously we all know that game 4 ended in a 4-1 loss for the Rangers. So you kind of just look at this and say, like how I kind of alluded to, what is it can the Rangers do to kind of try and fight back? I guess maybe try to force a game 7. I don't necessarily know how that's going to be possible. I don't know what team that gives up 3 wins in a row, even on their own ice, and just does not perform at the magnitude that they should have. They failed to execute on the offensive side. There were a couple of defensive breakdowns later in that third period as well. After that goal aside, we got really lucky, and thankfully we were able to save the puck and prevent it from going in. But you look at it and you say, well, shit, the Rangers definitely should have come out on top in this game, and we didn't. So how are we going to be able to combat this with Tampa being as hot as they are on their home floor in Game 6 with a trip to the Stanley Cup on the line? And that's the answer to me is it's not going to happen. It doesn't seem feasible. It doesn't seem like it's something that's in the cards. And I mean, the Rangers are here, and I've been saying it for, the last couple weeks. The fact that we're in a place where we're in the playoffs with a team like this, with the potential to kind of keep them from going to their third Stanley Cup is an incredible feat. But it definitely just kind of goes to show, man. It's a game of experience. It always goes down to who's going to be able to execute more down the stretch. And New York just fell a little short today, and we'll just kind of have to play it by ear and see what happens in Game 6.